Today I'm going to go over how I sharpen one of these, and I'm going to go through a couple of techniques. So one of the problems with these is that as you can see, the blade's a bit peculiar and it can be a little bit awkward to sharpen. It does get easier the more you do it, but even for me now, the amount of times I've sharpened it, it is, you know, it is still a bit of a pain to do. So I'm going to show you how I get around it, or do it rather, and then I'm going to show you a few techniques. The way I sharpen one of these is the same as I would sharpen a Bailey's number 4, let's just say. And the fact that I am going to use my diamond stones, and I'm going to finish up with a strop. So one of the things I do is obviously have it close to the edge. So having it close to the edge, it's just going to allow me to use the very edge of the diamond plates. So it's actually not too bad to do this. It can be a little bit more severe when you're using thinner blades. So when I actually bought this, the person who had it before me, I'm gonna hazard a guess he was an old guy who probably sadly passed away, and all his tools got sold. So he actually, by the looks of it, he's actually made this himself. So I think this one's about 1/4 of an inch, and there is actually another one that is ground down even more. I can't remember the size of it. It might be somewhere like maybe 3 to 4 millimeters. So those can be a bit more problematic because you do tend to rock them, or at least I do. So you have got to take your time with the smaller ones. So with the larger ones, you can see there is a bit more meat, and you're less likely to rock it. So I actually used this yesterday, so this is actually still pretty sharp. So this one, however, needs to be sharpened up. So I'm going to give this a sharpen. So when I put it on the plates, I'm just going to take it backwards and forwards. So when you're doing this, you do have to be careful, as I said before, that when you're dragging it back, you're not actually rocking it, and when you're pushing it, you're not rocking it. So you do need to apply some pressure. So I've turned this onto its side, and by luck, just the way I actually created this, this plate is actually very close to the edge, so I'm actually able to take longer strokes. So I'm actually going to work on the primary bevel, just because it needs work done. So we have the final one here. Again, I'm able to use the full length of the diamond plate when I'm doing this. So I'm just going to lift this up and get the secondary bevel. I just feel a burr on there now, so that's nice. So now the strop, this has got buffing compound on it. Again, this is pretty awkward, so it's the same sort of thing. I've got it on the edge of the bench, and I'm just trying to get that angle and take it along. So once that's done, I'm going to do the same to the bottom. So when I'm doing this, this can range from anywhere from like 20 to, I don't know, maybe 40 strokes on each side. Once that's done, I'm just going to run the edge through the edge of the bench just to make sure I get rid of any burr that still might be on. And let's see if we get some shavings with this. There we go, some shavings. Setting this up, we do have to bring the collar up and push it in to the bolt. Get this up and back down again. So it's actually still a bit high because it's lifting this. So that's it there, it's near enough zero there. It's all sharpened up now, so I'm going to give you a couple of demonstrations of how I use this. You're actually just going to use the adjuster, so if it's clockwise, it'll send the cutting edge down. And what I like to do, I just like to see what's hitting and what's not hitting. So it looks like it's going to hit that far corner, yeah. So once you've done that, you want to cinch the back up and you want to apply pressure onto this knob. So this surface here is going to be your reference. So at the start of the video, I was referring to this being straight. If this isn't straight, this isn't going to be straight. So if it's got like such a curve in it, you're going to get the same sort of thing on the tenons. So you have to make sure that this area here is square because you're referencing the sole of the plane against that. So I've only took a tad off there, so we're still quite away. What I like to do when I'm first coming down, I use about half a turn to 3/4 of a turn. Still too little. That was a full turn, that one. So I am starting to make contact in this corner now. So the technique that I like to use, if you noticed, I'm not just going all the way across. I'm starting this corner and I'm actually going diagonally. So I'm kind of slicing with the grain on a diagonal, if that makes sense. So rather than go, what I'm actually doing is this. And when I get right far into the corner, then I'll go. So at this point, I'm going to go half a turn, cinch it back up again. So that's too much. So you can see the thickness and you can actually feel it as well. So that's way too much. So same again, you just loosen it off and just retract it a little bit. So you know, one of the dangers when you are doing this, if you do take too much off, you can see the corners, it's blowing out. So it has actually went past the line. So this is one of the reasons that you don't want to actually take too much off. You'll be very tempted to, especially on other woods. This is beech, this is actually quite tough, but the likes of oak, you can actually get away with taking bigger cuts, but I'd advise against that. That's why. So let's see how we are. This far corner is something I like to do. I like to actually position the knob and create a pivot point. So when I'm here, so I'm actually doing a bit of an arc, but I'm still taking the corner off, like so. And then once I get a bit more area and get the blade onto the cheek a bit better, then I start going diagonally across. Something else you might want to do as well is just turn the thing round. I've quickly just done a very shabby housing joint just to show you what I would do with the housing joint. So, going to be pretty much the same again. We're just going to get this to the highest point, which seems to be about here. So, yeah, we're pretty close here now. So one of the things to look out for when you're actually doing a housing joint like this, it's not a stopped housing joint, is that when you're pushing forward, you might actually blow through, which obviously you don't want to do. So come back the other way, and I like to use that pivot technique. Like I was talking about before, with the oak, you're actually able to take off like a bit more than you really should. So you do have to be careful with things like this. Another thing I like to do when I'm doing any sort of housing joint, when I come into the joint itself, don't come in square, actually come in on a diagonal, so the blade edge is almost at 45 degrees. So the full brunt of the full edge of the blade is never taking the full brunt of the grain, it's always skewed. And I find when you do that, you're able to get right into the corner as well, and it goes through the grain a lot easier. How do you use your outer plane? How do you sharpen it? I'd really be interested to know. If you let us know in the comments, that would be awesome. Let us know what you think of the video. Was it helpful? If it was helpful, can you give us a thumbs up? Can you subscribe if you're not already subscribed? And sharing the video would help as well. That's if you want to support the channel, and if you do, that's absolutely awesome. So until the next time, I shall see and speak to you guys later.